Bark if you understand. Bark if you understand.
And
Bam, 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 bam. We need to work on that. It's an MVP, okay?
Definitely. We need to
We
rehearse a
invented
bit
it like
more.
a second ago.
I would like to congratulate us that this is our first episode. This is our pilot, and we're just trying things out. And I think it is very courageous.
Absolutely.
Try out. If anyone who is listening to us and doesn't have a video, and for some reason you're wondering what are those noises, those are our dogs that are running around. And it happened that three of us have white little doggies
Yes.
that all look different, but at the same time very similar. And this is what unites us together.
yes, but today it's only 2 dogs because mine at home
Yes.
just
Yes.
sleeping and relax.
And also, oh no, I just wanted to show you mine. But actually, they see anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so there is
And
the whole
somebody
action
can hear
happening.
too. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it would be nice maybe to start talking about how we girls met.
Maybe we
And
will start.
I think it's a story of itself. I mean,
Maybe we will start with our names because you just introduced
true,
yourself.
yes, it's
But-
true. We can introduce ourselves and maybe like
I just
who
a little
we are.
bit produce
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah, it's true. We need a producer because there's actually nobody behind the camera, and everything is done by the 3 people here and 2 dogs.
Yeah,
But so we're producing on the go.
exactly. And Ole, actually, is a professional producer. So maybe you can start with introducing yourself
Oh
first.
my god! I just do it a lot of time previous 6 months because every time in my institute I just introduced myself and started with my experience that I'm more than 10 years in music industry and I just
Yes.
and my first project was the project with the Snoop Dogg. It's my lovely story.
This
about
is how we're starting. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da.
Okay, I think I should finish it. I should stop.
Cut.
Yeah.
Cut.
It's enough about me.
Smoke weed every day.
I'm Olga and I worked with a Snoop Dogg. This is me.
This is how we're opening our pilot.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
I
about
mean-
you, Adelina? Who are you?
So, actually, by my background and in my previous life, I'm a classically trained musician, so I'm a pianist and composer. But in this life, I'm actually an entrepreneur, female founder. So I've got 2 projects going on. And yeah, I will be telling you about them later, all the time.
Nice.
Gulia, what about
Yes,
you?
it's my turn. Yes. Hi, I'm Gulzada, and I also go by Gulia. So at any point you hear Gulia, it's also my name. Yes, if we're talking about previous lives, my previous life that still continues existing nowadays is my corporate self. I work as a marketing operations specialist, manager within AI-driven startup
So official.
in Berlin. That sounds very serious, yes. But my whole life I've been singing and doing music. And I think it is funny how music exists in all
Yeah,
of our lives.
True.
And the future me and the current me is the music producer, singer, and a music artist in general.
And songwriter.
And a songwriter. Everything alone, yes.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
I think it is actually pretty exciting that 3 of us
Yeah.
are somehow connected to music.
Yeah.
We all have a music background. And this is why actually the story of us meeting is insane. It is insane,
Absolutely.
right?
And also, we actually didn't mention we're neighbors. We literally live in the same building.
All right. Let's start telling the story. Okay, let's start with the story.
I mean, like it was meant to be or something. Universe, planned it out.
It was insane. So I'll start maybe from my perspective.
Because you are the
Yeah, because
first who just
Will.
started to live here.
yeah, she's been living here already for quite some time.
Yes. So about 2 years ago, I moved to Berlin and I was looking for an apartment and I found this amazing building, which is called Bell Village. It is going to be also a character in this podcast, so I think we should name it. And basically it's a building where a lot of people are coming for short-term stays, and that's why a lot of people are turning around here and then finding a long-term apartments. But I'm the one who stayed for the longest, so I'm here for 2 years. And on my second year, I think it was around Christmas or something, I was just walking back home, and then there was this girl with a little white dog, and I was like, I did not realize she lives in the building. And I also have a white little dog, and we're both accidentally walking the dogs, and then we see each other. Of course, dogs are starting, sniffing each other's butts. And then we started chatting, and then all of a sudden you were like, I have a feeling you speak Russian.
Yes, exactly. I just could tell. It's like the sense you already develop as an expat. Yes. You just find your people.
Yeah. For the background, I'm originally from Kazakhstan. I lived there till I was 18, and my first language, my mother tongue, is Russian. And I went to Russian schools. So obviously, Adelina was right. I do speak Russian. Tell us about yourself. Why do you speak Russian?
Why do I speak Russian? Actually, originally I come from Russia, from Kaliningrad, not so far from Berlin. But before I used to live in London for 8 years, and I actually just fairly recently moved to Berlin, and I've been living here almost for 2 years now. And yeah, basically I have had like a crazy story because in Berlin, like for all of these 2 years, like so many things already happened, and basically I was in a previous relationship and stuff, and around Christmas time we broke up, so I had to find an apartment like ASAP. Really so fast.
This is why people come to this building often.
Exactly. But also because I have a dog, and it's extremely difficult to find an apartment in Berlin anyway. But with a dog, it makes it 120, 200 times even harder. So basically, I found this apartment in Belle Village, and I was like, okay, it looks decent. Take it. And basically, I just moved in, and I found it in 5 days, which also is kind of a miracle because I really found it so fast. I moved in, and then I was I did not know anything. It was also winter is a little bit depressing here in Berlin. And then I see Gule, and she is always wearing something really bright. I remember she had her bright scarf with green and stuff. And I was like, looks like a cool girl. And also she has a dog, and we because I wanted to try to find an excuse to start a chat, but with dogs it's always easier. Yeah, exactly. So, and she actually, I remember you gave me a sticker.
I did.
Yes, I still have it.
Which one?
Because
she has stickers. I have my own stickers.
You should show me, but okay, not now. But
yeah.
But
and I was
thinking,
so cute, And apparently we even have a mutual connection, on Instagram. Remember, so yeah. So basically, it's a small world, and then that's it. It just happened.
Funny. I mean, since you talk about you going through the tough time and going through a breakup and stuff, I think actually Belle Village, the building itself, has a lot of interesting stories here. And if you remember, when we were kids on Russian television, there was a show about how they are meeting people in airport, and they're taking these interviews of what's your story, who are you waiting for, and then people are meeting each other. They're long-term relationships, or they were missing their families or something like this. And it's always it was always a very there are plenty of emotional stories there. And I was just thinking, I mean, it's not that tragic, but I think Belle Village also has a lot of interesting stories here, and I think the breakup stories are very often.
Really?
Yes. So
I'm not that unique.
I think it is often for somebody who doesn't live in Berlin. It's hard to find an apartment here.
But to be honest with you, it was so welcoming as well, because another character, our Hausmeister, Sawyer. When I just moved in, and basically when I just signed the contract, I had to go to my ex's house to collect my stuff, and he was so kind. He's yes, welcome to Belle Village. He even drove me to my Okay, yes. He even drove me to my ex's place, by his car, and he said, we're waiting for you. When I moved in, I also met this, nice Turkish couple, we were having, a coffee in the communal area. And obviously, when you move into the new area in Berlin, I've never lived in Friedrichshain before, I didn't have, anyone here. I didn't know anything. It was, still, it's a very psychologically tough thing, because you don't even know where the grocer's shop is. You don't know anything.
Yeah, and new areas, new kids in in Berlin, it means new life
Yes.
completely. It's like moving to another city. This
You
is
really
true.
have to adapt so fast, but on top you're going through this healing process and like you're basically like in such a mess. But this place was really so welcoming, and I think it, like I really think it was somehow prearranged or something. I really believe in this kind of coincidences, and then I met you girls. It's like, yeah. So basically, I believe that it was all for the better. Yeah, for sure.
I saw some people moving into our building together and then separating.
Really?
And then also,
Of course, because you've lived here for 2 years, you've seen
Yes.
life.
and I'm also
Yes,
interested in
these
other
stories.
people's lives.
Exactly. I love how she knows it, because I live already here already for 6 months or so, and I don't notice anything, but she is always like up to date, like girls,
These are
XOXO.
the gossips. Bell Village XOXO. No, but I mean, it makes sense because this building is super easy to get in if you need something ASAP, as you did, for example, and it's furnished. So if you're going through a breakup, that's the easiest way, right? To move in here.
Looks like some ad for Bell Village from us.
Yes, but
Just
We should start affiliation
Yeah.
program
I
or
think
something.
yeah, and the ad would be like going through a tough
we
breakup.
just need
Bell Village
percentage.
is here for
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
We will take care of you. We will
So
love you.
just
and
Your
welcome you.
emotions. Sawyer is welcoming. Here's our Gulzada, the oldest here. Just do the registration. Do the registration. We were just recently laughing that
Only
I think
5 minutes and you have some discount from us.
I have a feeling that I'm entitled
Yeah.
to require everyone to register with me once they move into the house, because like every time that I see new faces in the house and they moved in and I missed out this moment, I'm like, excuse me, I was not notified. Who are you? Register.
This is so funny.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. And so basically, coming back to our story, this is how we met, and then afterwards, I think we exchanged the Instagrams,
Yeah.
and for quite some time, we were like, yeah, sure, let's go for a
Yeah.
coffee, let's do this, and then one evening, we were just like, yes, let's go for wine.
Yes, you know how actually? Because like my Amazon package was delivered to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I came and basically I came to get it,
Yeah.
And basically, yes, I was just like, so what are you doing this weekend?
what?
Yes, and we went for wine that night.
Yeah.
We went to
And
the
I
end.
remember I was actually thinking that when I got your package, I was like, oh, that's a good coincidence. Like now we will
Exactly.
have, a reason to chat again.
Absolutely. And that's why, like, yeah, that's I think when the first time, right? Like we went to this bar at the end, like, and it
Yes.
was like great actually.
Yes, yes.
It was a
And then it
sign.
started.
Yeah,
It was a
really.
sign.
Yeah.
But
You know, I was
actually-
like, come on, girls.
Yeah.
It was magical because like we sit down and we started chatting and we were like, I have a dog. I also have a dog.
Like it.
I work in a startup. I have a startup. I speak Russian. I also speak Russian. I'm into spiritual journeys. I'm also into this. I used to meditate. I studied music. I'm doing music. And I was like, who
Not
is this
enough
person?
points.
Is it a copy paste? Like, it's insane. But it is interesting how I think three of us, we have so many things in common, but we all see it in different angles. And
true.
it's cool. It's cool.
So then you girls met, right?
Then
Then after
you start the story.
Oh,
When did you
no.
actually move in? January or something?
No, it was very unusual day. It was 29 of February.
Oh.
One for 4 years. And I just moved from my previous apartment from Neukölln, and just I think it was my first day here when I just opened the chat of Bell Village and just trying to find who's living here and trying to check some.
We have a WhatsApp chat
Yes.
where you can see people.
Yes. And I just trying to check some people, who is who and something like that. And just, okay, Gulzada, something interesting. Because I was born in Kazakhstan too. And I know that it's a Kazakh name, and just I need to check this person. And I check, and I just found your Instagram.
Yeah.
And I check, okay, she's speaking Russian. She has a little white dog, as I have. And after 2 days, when I moved, I just walk with the dog and meet you with Lola.
Yeah.
And just first speaking experience was in Russia because I know that you speak in Russian.
Yeah.
And I just started to speak Russian with you and just...
And I've never seen you before in the building. So I was, yeah.
Second or third day when I moved, yeah.
So I've never met you, and I'm walking my dog like outside of the building, like we're not even near the building. And then somebody approaches me and like I'm like, hey, hi, yeah, it's a girl, yes, it's a girl.
It was in
is
the
she
morning.
friendly?
It was in the morning.
It was in the morning. You were walking with the coffee, and then you were
Yeah.
like, I think I can speak Russian. I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And then and then you said two keywords. You were like, music,
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
You really said
No,
that?
I'm not sure about Snoop Dogg. But
No, you were not saying maybe
Music,
about Snoop Dogg.
yes.
You just mentioned music, and I immediately knew that we have things in common. Oh,
Yeah.
and the second key thing is actually that I'm a big fan of a jewelry shop,
August. You just saw my...
and I saw
ring, yeah.
that you had so many stuff like from the shop, and I immediately recognized it, and I was like, she speaks my language, she does. Funny enough, we're gonna go today after this podcast, we're gonna go to the August event. They did not pay for this, so if you want to, this podcast is open for sponsorship.
Donate us.
Yes.
From the pilot.
For partnership.
Yeah, so, and then I thought that, okay, I have like this new connections now, but I felt that we need a bonding experience or something like this. And then basically in March, there was my birthday party that I was planning.
It was fun.
And the thing that I love to do, I love to connect like a lot of people who wouldn't connect in an obvious way. And then you invite them to the party and, you know, thing that I like to do is to connect people that are not obviously, you know, it's not obvious that these people would get in together. But I'm just like, let's throw everyone together and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Many times I regret this because many times I have to take the social responsibility for this, and people are obviously not really a match. But like in a bigger group, and this time I was like, I don't care. You know, who will get alone? They will get alone. You know, the rest is okay.
It's not your problem. Yeah.
It's not my problem. Yeah. So I invited basically like everyone.
But it was very important for me because I just was new here, and I'm new in Berlin in general, and as you understand, in Neukölln, I didn't have some connections with people. But here it was very important to meet some new, interesting people.
Yeah. And I
Thank
think,
you so much.
Of course. Yes.
Thank you too, even though some people from your group I knew beforehand.
Yeah.
We know these stories, but I'm not sure that
Oh my
we
God,
can speak about it here. It's our little secret number one.
Yeah, we had mutual
anyway.
connections.
We just need to count some secrets, I think. Just first secret from us.
A hint. But anyway, it was really cool, and that's how I met Ola for the first time, because I
But
heard
no,
so much about.
No, we
I think
saw each other, but we don't know that we are.
Really?
Because I know maybe 1 week before the Gula's birthday, I just was sitting on the first floor and speaking on the phone with my artist, and you with the Sky just
passed by.
Yeah,
Really.
and we just communicate with the
maybe.
Sky a little, yes, but I just speaking in my
True,
phone.
but we never actually were
Yes,
introduced and had a
yes,
conversation
yeah.
before. So I think that was the first time, because Gula kept on telling me about you all the time. She's like, do you know, she's also from the music industry. She has a dog. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
She was so excited.
And I was saying to Ola. Yeah, and to Ola, I was also like buzzing all the time. I was like, my friend Adelina, the one with the dog, And I was like, I think I saw her.
But no, you know, just first 2 weeks, it was very strange period, because I just every time met only Gula and Lola, and nobody's just only Gula. I just think that only Gula just lives in this house, because
This is true.
I just met only Gula and Lola.
You somehow have like the match in your life cycles, because you know, like you walk in the morning and I walk like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably that makes sense. So the birthday party, I think it was a success.
It was
Yes.
good. It was
It
good. It
was
was really
good.
fun, especially when everybody got a little bit tipsy. We were singing karaoke, Britney Spears. So it was cool. I loved it.
It was cool. We also had
Went wild.
then all of the sudden my friend Mita, he was like, by the way, I have tarot cards.
Oh yes. he was
Yeah.
doing
Anyone
readings.
wants? you
But
know?
mine was so depressing. He's like, your like relationship will just be like what? Maybe he was right though.
Maybe.
It's like not gonna happen, and I'm like going on this dating marathon, and
To
nothing
change it,
works
yeah.
out. I need another reading.
He told me quite obvious thing. He was like, so the question was about my my like relationships and stuff, and he was like, so you often meet these creative guys, but you
She also
think
might have known it because he's your best friend or something.
he's not my best friend,
but
but it is
close
also
friend.
obvious. Like for anyone who lives in Berlin, you meet creative guys.
No, not obvious. I have not met one because that's the like no red flag for me. Sorry.
No, that you need CEO.
So the first card was like, all right, creative guys is your past, but you think that you need a guy who has money, but actually what you need is a guy with the power. And I was like, I mean, yes, I agree, but at the same time, this is so generic. I don't know. Like, everyone needs a guy with the power. No? Like, the strong guy. I don't know.
Well, what kind of power? I don't know.
Also, very vague, very generic.
Okay, like not convinced.
Maybe it's probably about the gym you just started to.
Oh, I have a gym subscription. Yes.
Maybe it's a place
And you know
for
what?
new
Like
love.
traitors. Because I go to Home's place and it's like, by the way, also not sponsored but open for sponsorships. And these ones go like together. They signed up for John Reed, so it's like
Yeah. We're sorry.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Forgiven. You don't have a pool.
True. Facts.
I can
Yes.
swim. It's okay for me.
Okay. We will teach you.
No, it's impossible.
Really?
Yeah, I
We need to
tried a
go.
lot of time.
You know what? Inspiration time. Inspiration time. My mother, who is 59 years old, she just learned how to swim. She could never swim in her life, and not only she couldn't, swim itself, but she also was so afraid of the water. She would never get in. She would always like get in like half body and just sit and then go out. And actually, when I was a kid, she was pretending she can't swim, but then I realized that she was walking under the water.
First
But
trauma.
anyways, and now my mom, she also has a TikTok, and she just was posting how she's swimming in the swimming pool, and she does like stuff that I have no idea how to do. Like she does like this like breast swimming and like butterflies and this kind of stuff, and she's like fully under the water, and I'm like, who is this woman? Like,
It's not my mom.
I have no idea. But at the same time, like she never tried this outside of the pool, so she never swam in like a natural
open water,
in
yeah.
open water. So she's like next time we're gonna go to vacation, I'm so scared. Like I don't know how to swim there. Fun fact: today she posted, or 2 days ago, she posted her video that has like this viral format. She just sets the camera, and then she dresses up and she starts dancing and something like this. And today she posted it with my song, and she read in there something like,
Aw.
I want to show you my daughter's music or something like this. And it already has 13,000 views, which I never get
Good.
so many
Just
views.
need to record next episode with your mom.
That's true. Next time she will come.
It will be
She
our
doesn't,
first
but we can do the
guest.
subtitles.
Okay,
Yes.
it's true.
She will be our first guest.
That's true. My mom is a legend. Yes.
Yeah, your mom is really
Yeah.
one.
So big inspiration that even if you are 59, you can learn how to swim. You can do whatever you want.
That's incredible, really.
It is incredible.
I just tried to learn how to swim. I have a lot of classes in the swimming pool and something like that, and I can swim with some object, not alone. But it's a little bit scary to me to be alone on the water. it's just
I'm also still scared
yeah.
to be in the open water. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I can swim, but like, how long can I swim? Like, what will I do if I...
But when you say open water, like obviously I'm also scared if they just drop me in the middle of the ocean, you know. And I'm just like, okay. You know, actually during the COVID, I was watching this like natural disaster films
Oh my God.
and I also have this fear. But actually, I love swimming. I love water. Even Sky can swim. Last summer, we were going to the seaside because I'm from Kaliningrad originally, and we have a Baltic seaside there. And I was swimming, and she actually started swimming after me. It was so cute, and I thought like she's such a coward, but she's apparently not.
But I think every dog can swim, right?
Not
but
ever.
this one hates
Not
No.
ever.
water.
A lot of dogs just scare it. Yeah.
But also, like, I think bulldogs or some other dogs, they physically cannot swim, actually.
Yeah.
Mm.
True. But I think, you know, she would never swim by herself. She only follows me because she thinks I'm dying or something.
Yeah, she's just saving you. Yeah.
Baby, just leaving there.
I think every episode should have
love
this
how
when we're
Lola's
talking
just
about
under
our
me.
dogs and we're like, oh,
And Lola is just chilling under me. She's like my dog today.
she is.
Yes, sweetie.
Next time.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're
I
doing
just
great.
need to
Kris
take-
Jenner vibes.
brioche too. Yeah.
I love Kris Jenner. By the way, can we talk about the fact that the new Kardashians episode is gonna be soon?
Okay, that should don't watch, but
It's gonna be out. You don't watch it?
no.
God. Okay, let me tell you a story. It's not actually a story, but like my journey with Kardashians is that like I was always like, what the fuck is this? Like this is
course.
irrelevant. But
Irrelevant.
Of course.
I mean, who can relate to Kardashians? Nobody lives like this. Nobody lives like this. It is. And then one of my friends, she actually told me, she was like, I watch Kardashians just because I'm laughing how irrelevant this is. Like there are problems and everything. And I was like, maybe I'll try it. And then I watched it, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, the values that they spread, like family, staying together,
It's like Fast and Furious.
doing what you like. I don't know. Like when I'm in the mood that, let's say like in the morning or something, I want to get like, you know, hyped like for the day and have
Kardashians hype you up? I can't believe it.
Kardashians hype me up. Yes. Just Kris Jenner herself. She's a legend. She's a legend.
Okay,
She
Kris
has,
Jenner is a great businesswoman, like entrepreneur. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. But also like the way, like there was a time, I live alone since I'm 18, right? Outside of my family, and I'm the first generation, the first person who moved out, and I don't have relatives close to me. So, and I just never understood like the phenomenon of like doing business or doing anything together with your family. I don't know how it is for you guys, but like when I see that they're strong as a family and they're like supporting each other in doing business together, and they are so strong just because they are together, actually, how all of them are leveraging and working for the same goals, you know, it is incredible for me. And I've never seen this. I've never experienced that, you know, I've never seen families who would be so aligned together. Like in my family, we're just like, everybody like do their own stuff, sort of, but like also being so close with your siblings and you know, building strong relationships with your parents as well. It is incredible. And I mean, back then when I watched it, I was like, imagine like you're trying to hustle in the world, you're trying to achieve something, but imagine you don't have to do this on your own. Imagine you have your siblings and your family who are working on similar goals. And you're all supporting each other with this initiative.
Just a team, not only family, just like a
that
team.
totally
Yeah.
makes sense, yes. But also I think because, you know, like they have like Armenian background, like heritage.
True.
And I think it's like their father probably have instilled that in them, because it actually makes a lot of sense. Like my father is Georgian, and we also have such a strong like in some ways conservative approach towards family. And like of course, okay, I don't work with my sister, like, but my father supports me in every entrepreneurial endeavor. He gives me advice. Like I'm super close with my family myself, and actually friends as well. Like my best friend, she works in my startup, and yeah, it's like her support is everything, and
Wow.
it's really
Yeah.
important. So I think I definitely share the values, but maybe
I see it in your family. I see that you're more connected as a family, and I see that your dad is very involved in your entrepreneurial activities. Sort of this is incredible, because I think the mindset in my family more of like whatever you do whatever you want. We obviously support you emotionally, but you sort of gotta try it out in the world yourself. Or at least this is how my dad achieved everything on his own without like any support. So his mindset towards me is also like
Something.
this is gonna happen from time to time.
Sooner or later, yeah.
Sooner or later.
It's our support team.
Yeah. But I think we should call this episode Kardashians and Snoop Dogg had three little dogs.
Keyword search.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that's really important.
We
and
need
I
a
think
third name for our name of podcast of episode. We have two names.
Kardashian, Snoop Dogg, and now let's name drop naming, name dropping. Let's do the name dropping.
okay.
She spoke English pretty well. I was just like, sorry. I was just like, why curtains are moving? And then I realized that Sky is under this.
Yeah, so sweet.
She's a little spy.
She's a little spy, yes. Sky is a dog.
Support is extremely important. I think that I sometimes it's not an easy journey, like the entrepreneurship for sure. And actually, some weeks can be better. Some weeks can be you feel like you're on fire. Some weeks you just feel like you want to die or something like that. But it's normal, you just keep going no matter what. But I think definitely I couldn't do it without people who support me so much, really, with advice, everything, and just the fact you can just even call them and talk and really just release it and hear that just a safe place. I think that's the most important thing.
And that's why I like the Kardashians narrative, in this sort of Western capitalistic individualistic world where everyone is doing whatever they want and everything is so individualistic that the main family there has strong family values and has a message of support each other, do stuff together. Because when I was growing up, it almost felt you felt ashamed if your family helped to you. So you were like, oh, you did not do it yourself. Now everybody's laughing on Nepo babies and stuff. You did not achieve everything on your own. And I always had a feeling that I have achieved everything on my own. Otherwise, it's not valuable. Otherwise, it's not real.
But I also think it's so delusional. You can never achieve anything just on your own. Inevitably, you are part of society. You do networking. Somebody will open doors for you inevitably.
Also, your parents gave you a lot already. You're never starting from the scratch. Your parents gave you the education. Your parents gave you the mindset, whatever.
Exactly. So this self-made concept, I think it's very twisted, because nobody is really self-made. We're all just the collection of the patterns that we are surrounded by. And our environment we live in, friends, family, everyone, we're just taking it in as a sponges, all the time. And what is self-made in the end of the day? Yes, okay, if you have nothing and maybe you come from okay, there are some people who really come from, I don't know, the worst backgrounds.
But anyway, they are in society. Anyway,
yeah, that's true. So you anyway take in, and somebody would help you inevitably, or somebody would be kind and just support you or something. So it's I think it kind of takes away this feeling of gratitude, which is extremely important. You acknowledge it and you feel grateful, and what could be possibly wrong with it? You will help someone else later to achieve and where you are at, so I think this self-made concept is not really healthy.
I just had a chat today in the morning with my friend Dasha, and we were just chatting about just talking about I don't know, the living situation or something. I don't want to get too personal into details, but in the end, I was texting to her. I was like, well, in the end, we might complain about things that we have or we don't, but all of us are so privileged. Even though we do not have, I don't know, millions, or we're not Nepo babies or whatsoever, and we work on our stuff ourselves, but we are privileged in a way that come on, if we compare us to the average, how our relatives live, how people from our schools live, etc., we are lucky. We are lucky.
Recent conversation.
I just no, just
It is also a recent conversation.
Yeah, and I just remember some ex classmates how they just looks and so on. It's just so terrible.
Yeah.
And you just
And I think like in our European lives, it is sort of a standard. Like you meet people like you, like mostly people speak English, mostly people, have like good backgrounds, good average relationships with families and stuff. But like, to be honest, for us, like we're coming from different world. It's just the reality. We're coming from the worlds where some of our classmates, where half of our classmates already have children, where some of our classmates did not do it well, just because we're kids of 90s in post-Soviet Union countries. It's the reality.
True, that's very true. And actually yesterday on my date I had a conversation that actually we really are so privileged, but we also are different from the most, I think, from the majority of the people, because we really, and maybe I actually have no idea what really is the reason for that, but not so many people really want to achieve something, like they don't necessarily even want to create something. They don't have this urge, they're just like, because he was telling me actually about his experience, because he has already a big, very successful company, and he says like, I really want to give shares to my employees, like to motivate them and stuff like that, but there are not that many people apparently who actually even ask. And that was such a like insightful thing to hear, because that's true, like there are people who are just comfortable with like certain basically fundamentals, like they have like very stable life, like income, everything, and they don't strive for more. And that's apparently the majority, like we maybe as expats, like we already have a different mentality, since we have really came out of our comfort zones.
We have to hustle more.
Exactly, we definitely have to hustle more, but it was a conscious decision in many aspects, because we could have always stayed there like and have an easier road, but we didn't choose to do that. We always choose to step out and do something else. And that's actually really revealing to me that it's actually such a small percentage of people who really strive for things like that, and the rest is just comfortable to live the way they do, and that's it. And I don't know, I just don't understand why. Like I just, because not like I judge or something, it's like in my picture and my vision, it's like, why? Like it's so sad, because I love life, like this passion towards life, you just want to know it from various angles. You want to absorb it, you want to feel it, you want to like to have it, but then other people just live such boring and gray, dry lives, and then just like, how can you be satisfied? Like why like it's like you miss out on so much. It's so sad.
Yeah, but also life is good in its variety. I think having a lifestyle which like preferring to have kids and preferring to live a comfortable European life, I think is also a choice that we gotta respect. And I think different people are wired different way. I had a big revelation when I was back in Kazakhstan during this winter holidays. My whole life I did not ever see any point of view or any mindset than rather being an achiever. For me it was like a given thing, like everyone is achiever, like this is how we live in the world. And I think it is a reality for the kids of the 90s, because the times were harsh. If you were not an achiever, then you die. It's a survival mechanism. And like my whole childhood I admired my aunt. My aunt was always such an incredible woman. Like when I was a kid, she looked like a goddess for me. She's tall, she has a good posture, she's incredibly beautiful woman. Many times like all the guys were going crazy for her, and many times they invited her to like modeling agencies and this kind of stuff. At the same time, she was a doctor and like well respected, and everybody were like, oh, she's so smart, she's so incredible. Anyways, she was my role model for many things. Also, when I was a kid, she told me a phrase once. She was like, I'm an independent woman. I just have one pan and I don't need anything else. I'm not cooking for a family. I'm an independent woman. And I was repeating this as a 5 years old. I was telling to everyone, I'm an independent woman. I'm just going to have one pan. The reality is that I have one pan. That's true. That happened. But in my head, she was like, this is everything you need to be. That's a role model. But then I saw that she kind of, in my standards, she settled. So she has a husband, she lives in Kazakhstan, you know, she never became like the greatest doctor. She never became the greatest nutritionist that she molded to. Yes, she never became a model. She never became this and that. Everything that I thought that if you have these qualities, you are given to have this career path or something like this. And now as I was adult and we were chatting as two adults when I was on my holidays, and I was asking to her, I was like, but did you ever want to achieve something? And, you know, before I asked this, in my head, it was like, everyone tries the hardest. And it's like, you're lucky or you're not trying hard enough, but everyone wants the same. Everyone wants to have achievements. And she looked at me and she was like, I never wanted to achieve anything.
Everything was okay for me, yeah.
Fucking
I was like, what? She was like, I just wanted to have a comfortable life. She was like, I did not want to be a doctor. I did this because my parents asked me to. She's like, I did not want to be a model because I did not want to hustle.
How many
that
years
much.
did you waste by following her role model?
31 years. She was like, I never wanted anything of this. She was like, I just never wanted to study. I never wanted to work hard. I just wanted a life when I will be comfortable. And she was like, my whole like youth, she just wanted to party. She's like, I just wanted to party all the time, nothing else. And I looked at her and I was like, wow. So it's like, and it gave me a lot of hope, because I realized that it's not about how cool you are, what kind of qualities you have, what kind of skills you have. It's about what you want.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
not everyone wants great things.
I think like I need to make a remark here when I mentioned that not many people want to really achieve something, create something. It doesn't, like, I think this definition of achievement is a little bit misunderstood, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be the greatest and best, like the fastest version of like the whole, like, I don't know, field that where you are operating in. When I say that I want success for my startup, it doesn't necessarily mean that I want to become next unicorn, you know. I want to achieve potential that I see in myself. So, and that's my probably maximum, but not also maximum, because I just believe that, you know, it's not just one area of my life, you know, like there, you know, this like balance of life. You know, you have different segments of it. You have like family and friends, you have personal development, you have so many of that, and work, and like it's just one basically segment of that. And I think it's very important just to listen to your true self and see where you want to go and not be afraid, basically, you know. But many people, they just like, they work at these corporate jobs or like 9 to 5, and they don't, and hate it. And if you really
You're not.
but not, you're not that case.
Yeah.
You still do what you love, you know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like you're even like laying down in that direction is already a great thing, you know. And that's very important. But just like most of the people, they just like betray themselves.
It is
and
true.
they don't even listen to their true desires and go in the direction. That's why, you know, like, it doesn't, if you want to be a good doctor, it doesn't mean that you have to be like the greatest doctor like on earth and go in history right now. It means that you have to be content doing what you love and help people, and there's a beautiful bonus, and because you really truly enjoy it, and then basically just be content because you get this feedback, and you grow in the journey, and that's the most important thing in my
I think not wanting certain things is totally okay, and I think it's always your choice. What is not okay is betraying this because you're feeling too afraid or something. So basically suppressing any of your wishes. I think
yes, and that's
people
how
live in this
haters
lie.
being born. You know, like that's how social media operates these days.
True.
People are just like not suppressing their feelings all the time. They see someone who's actually doing that, and it's this person is doing that maybe with mistakes, maybe like because it's a human being. You know, like they are like falling down, getting up. You know, like, and all these journeys that they see, and they start criticizing because they're jealous. And why is this jealousy actually even, you know, starts within people? It's because, you know, they really truly want the same things, but yes, they thank you but they just don't listen to themselves, and they're scared, afraid, like lots of excuses they find, like, and then they just end up criticizing someone who is actually doing what they want to do. So that's the
I
thing.
have a question. When and how do you understand what you want? What do you really want?
That's a good question.
That's a good question, but it's a journey.
Because sometimes I just think that I'm not understand about myself.
what do you exactly want?
Yes.
I always come back. I think I got through this journey a while ago when I was sort of in a crisis. I was like, what I'm doing right now, I definitely know that I don't want to do, but what do I actually want to do? And when I realized that, like, I got through the survival mechanisms already, and I got through this phase of like proving to my parents or to whoever else that I can do and I can exist. And then I was like, oh wow, now I have a choice what I can do. And then that took me a while, but what is it? And what helps me is to go back to the childhood. What did you enjoy doing the most? What did you feel that it is your mission? And the term of mission came recently to my life. I've never heard about this, and I always, previously I would think that this is like a spiritual bullshit. But now mission, it is very important. And I think we are born as children with a certain mission, and this is what you feel. So for me, it was obvious that I started singing right away when I started talking. And I did not enjoy anything else than singing. And then the second, like, navigator for me is always how I feel. That's the same way I write songs. Whenever I write a song and I feel, some butterflies in my stomach, or like I'm going to cry, even if I'm trying out the chords or something, I'm like, oh, I'm on the right way. This is a good direction. And when I do music, I feel that I'm doing something real, and I have the same butterflies, and I'm like, oh my God. Like it wakes up like very deep emotions. That's right. But when I do other stuff and I feel that inside, this is definitely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely agree with you, because actually when I moved to London from Russia, I came to study risk investment and finances because, to be honest with you, for some reason, also my dad kind of influenced me, and also I just thought it was a safe road. But I came there, and actually I was still dreaming to become a classical musician, and I thought, okay, I will do it on the side. I will have this degree just for a checkpoint. And then basically I will do music on the side anyway. And I remember I came to that university. It was a foundation year, and I was attending lectures for 2 or 3 weeks. And I remember one day I was sitting in this audience, and it was accounting lecture. It's actually a great university, one of the top ranking, everything. And I just see people all being on their phones, they just don't even care about what's happening. They're all on their phones, and the person is mumbling something to his mouth and to himself. He's just there, also doesn't care. He's like, oh, half of you will not even make it in the industry and stuff like this. And it's all this vibe, people are just there for, I don't know, whatever delusional reasons they are there. I was there as well for delusional reasons, for checkpoints, and nobody really cares about what they do. And I remember I looked at all of this and I was like, I don't want to be here. I actually took my stuff and left and never came back.
Wow.
And and I really, that's how I turned into music. I called my parents and I was like, I'm coming back to Russia. And they're like, no, what do you mean? I'm like, yes, I will not be able to study this, no. And just when I feel something so strongly resonating with me, I don't know, I just feel it. I don't know, I'm really connected. I think as a child, I really since childhood, really, I remember my thoughts, I remember I was quite self-aware in many ways.
Wow.
Of course, you lose it on the way, in teenage years, I completely lost this feeling, then I gained it back. Mm-hmm. But I remember that I strongly felt that that's not the way, you're not supposed to be here, when you feel strongly. Yeah. And I just no, that I'm not going to be studying, that's just not about me. And I remember he was even talking about exams that are going to happen in the end of the year, and I'm like, what's the point of listening? I will not be taking these exams. Mm-hmm. Just when you feel it. I don't know how to explain.
For my personal journey, this is really courageous to do this. I mean, I felt many times in my journey that this is wrong, I'm not supposed to be here. But the survival mechanisms are so deeply encrypted in my brain. They're if you're not going to do this, you might not survive because your parents told you that this is important or something like this, even though I knew my whole, and this is my main struggle of me turning 30 or something. My whole life, I knew that I'm supposed to do the creative activities. I'm supposed to be a musician and everything, but I was too afraid because the survival mechanism was always stronger. You need to get a corporate job. You must get the education, or and I knew that I'm not supposed to be there, but I was still there because it felt that we need to survive. You just cannot you cannot allow yourself to do whatever you love to. And now I'm working out through this, and I understand that there is a lot of fear of, you know, this kind of like very basic like security fear. What if I will do what I like and I'll die, you know?
But actually, I don't know, maybe, I don't know really where it comes from, but I just cannot make myself like, okay, when I'm on a journey that I enjoy, there are multiple
But this
things.
is great because you're not betraying yourself.
Yeah, but in the entrepreneurship case, there are like lots of things that I hate, like taxes, like
That's an adult life.
yeah, that's adult life. Of course, I do this kind of things, and I make myself, but because I know it brings me to my goal that I genuinely want, right? But when it comes to just like really spending hours of my life studying something that I don't want to do eventually just for a checkpoint, I don't know, it actually fears me because I think like life is so short, and I constantly say, like, remember I was telling you, do you understand that? Like I was telling you recently,
Life is
you
short.
actually know how many years of life we have left.
I was low-key stressed out after this chat. It's like everything was good in my life, and then she came, she was like, you need to do music tomorrow.
Because if you think about
Not
it,
tomorrow, now.
yes, because okay, like people are really active, I don't know, like up until what age, like okay, 65, right? Like, and how many I don't want to stress you out, but it's like
I'm
live
37.
okay, it's like we live with this delusion in our lives that life is like forever, you know, like we will never die. I don't know why people really think that, but because I think about
you
this
will
all the
die.
time. But I'm not scared of that. I'm Buddhist as well, so I'm actually quite looking forward. but I just understand that like I have a very limited time, and if you think about it, time flies. Really?
Yeah.
How
so,
can
yeah.
I waste it?
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
it's a rabbit hole. This mindset is a rabbit hole for a person like me who is a bit anxious. Like if anytime like I'm realizing life is short, I gotta do everything.
But it's beautiful. So it's like if you didn't have this pressure, you would not change anything.
No, for sure. But at the same time, certain things are beautiful in the process, in the way how long it comes. And I'm started learning to understand this. Don't kill me.
Don't kill you. Just like I'm really scared of wasting my time. It's maybe I have a fear. I need to talk about my therapy, like about it with my therapist. But I even remember when I was like my previous relationship didn't work out. We were dating for a year, and basically I was considering still whether I should leave or not. Like, and of course it's a difficult decision that you make. And I remember it was maybe November, and my therapist told me, okay, maybe if you're not ready right now, you can wait until February or March and give yourself time and then break up. And I started thinking, okay, it will take me like maybe 3 months to like get over this trauma and everything, and like really get myself going and heal. And if I leave right now, it means by February or March I will be already healed and happy to live my life, you know, like, and everything. But if I leave in February or March, it will take me 3 more months. Why do I extend so much time? And I was like, pack my stuff and go now. I literally left because of that. I was like, no, I'm not going to. And look at me right now. It's already like May, and I'm already like on dating marathon, and it's so good. And up until February, I was feeling like shit, really miserable and like really depressed. But because I was like thinking about myself in the future, like, and I always think about future Adelina. Like previous Adelina has to take care of her.
Well, advocating here for slower people.
And I'm like fast
I mean,
pace.
I am an achiever myself, and I totally get it.
But it's not about achievement.
But not in achievement, but like I have like sometimes I have high standards for myself. Like for example, when I was going through my breakup, I was like, all right, girl, so you had a therapy, very intense, and now you already have 3 months, so it's enough. Like, you already healed it all. Just move on. And I was like, you already go on the dates. You already live your life. You already moved the countries. And like the pressure that I put on myself to be doing good was so high that I was like, life is slow. Like, we don't know waste time on this one person and everything. That like, for me, it was a rabbit hole that I fell into, you know, having this like perfectionist kind of mindset for myself that I'm done, that I healed myself. But in fact, instead of 3 months, it took fucking 4 years, you know, and it took 4 years because I did not give myself time back then, because I suppressed it.
So funny it's whenever you speak.
Whenever I speak, and whenever I speak truth.
Yeah.
But that's true. I completely agree with you. Everybody has different time, and that's important to acknowledge, because for me, genuinely, I'm honest with myself, and I'm deep therapy, and I meditate a lot. Like, so I know that I've definitely healed from my previous.
I just, at this point, I thought,
was enough.
this is me. I am so conscious and I'm so honest with myself, and I do therapy and I have a coach and I have friends and I talked about this. This is me. I'll handle it fast. Like, I cannot be sobbing like for too long, right? And then I pushed myself and I was like, okay, done. Enough.
You were in a very long relationship. Come on.
No, it's true.
It's like mine was a year and yours was 7.
Yeah, but
It's like a little bit different.
generally speaking, how sometimes, like, not only in this situation, but many times I have such higher expectations of myself that I don't give myself enough time to process things, and I push myself into being a better performer, but it ends up worse, because the outcome is that you suppress the feelings, and then instead of this lasting for 1 year, it takes you 4 years, because pulling these things back is actually much harder than dealing with them in the moment. Because when you're dealing with these emotions like 4 years later, you don't even remember why it hurts, but it's still there. The trauma is still so in, and getting there is even harder than if I would do this back then. And I think it's the same mentality that comes to, you know, the people who are like having the escaping personalities and they don't want to deal with emotions. I don't have the escaping personalities. I just have like this perfectionist, like high level standards. So I wasn't escaping it. I was just like, enough, done. But the outcome is basically the same. I had to stay there a bit longer.
Yeah, and like, I definitely, it's so important to know your like pace, you know. Everybody is so different and needs more or less time to process certain things. And yeah, I just think that's important, to be true to yourself. But what I was meaning more is just that it's sometimes very sad that people end up because of fears, because obviously, you know, comfort zone, it's not only where you're comfortable, it's also where you know things. It's like when something is known, even that's why people don't leave, for example, toxic relationships, right? Because this is a known situation. It's like this kind of like a very messed up version of comfort for them. And it's very scary to actually step outside and go to the real world and see something that's not known, because you don't know what's going to come next to you, right? And that terrifies most of the people, because it's actually our human psychology. We are always scared, and brain really wants to prevent us from doing something that we don't know, because it's like a survival mechanism that actually we were describing earlier. And really to calm down your mind and take, you know, over it, and just say like, it's okay, we trust ourselves, we trust life, nothing is gonna happen, we will not die, we will go through it. And that's actually something that I'm constantly doing in my life. It's I think I'm constantly like calming my brain down and just going through it. It helps me in every aspect of my life. Entrepreneurship, because there are constantly problems, like relationships, everything. So yeah.
It's so interesting that we started from music industry and just continue with some mentality stuff.
But my question to you, coming back to your question, how do you know?
I don't know.
What are your thoughts on this?
It's really very hard question, because from one side, I know that all days of my life, I know that I will work in the music industry, because when I was a child and
how did you figure out that you were passionate about it, by the way?
I just, you know, when I was a child and just watch TV with my parents, and it was, I don't know, some music concert on TV, something like that. I just every time I imagined that will be here, but not on the stage.
I just wanted to ask, like, because I'm a music artist, and for me, obviously, when I watched any like music related TV shows or whatever, I was obviously on the stage.
No.
And I was like, how would anyone want to do anything but not being on the stage?
Yes, but from my side, it was.
Did you not want to be on the stage?
I don't want to be on the stage.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, I just every time I just imagined that, okay, I just will be here, but on backstage, not on the stage.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting for me. And when I started to work with celebrities, music industry, movies and something like that, I just remember and just, wow, I really work in the place when I want to be. It's really interesting. But now it's just a little bit mess in my mind because I'm not sure that I'm on the right way. And
Here in Berlin or overall?
yeah, overall, yeah, because maybe just time and just because I just moved to Berlin from Moscow, and I had a very comfortable life in Russia with a lot of projects and friends and something like that. But here, just okay, I'm not alone, but in general, it's a new place for me, new country,
course, it's
new
change.
industry, new rules, and blah, blah, blah. And I just try to be here in the same way, in the same level as I was in Moscow. But it doesn't work now, and it's very hard to me. And I just started to think that maybe I need to choose another way, another part of industry or another industry, or maybe something near the music industry and something like that. And it's really hard to me now to understand who I am and where I am. It's hard. It's the reason why I just ask you about your way and your ideas and your dreams and something like that.
But sometimes it's normal to feel lost. You need to also embrace that, because like with this entrepreneurship, like I wasn't just like, okay, now from musician I turned to entrepreneur and I know my way, like, okay, let's go. No, I was also like, once I graduated, actually COVID hit, I was also having this like lost time, like, because I was actually back in the UK, I was teaching a lot, like I was like earning really well because I was teaching mostly like very wealthy families and stuff like that. But I completely hated teaching, to be honest with you. It's like absolutely.
I also hate it. I fucking hate. I don't have patience for this. I'm like, just look and do.
Because there is no progression. Like this is just like I mean, like I really respect teachers, but for me, it's just that it's like that's a comfortable life, because I had a very good income, like I had like stability. My students loved me. I was doing my job well. But like, what's next? Like, what's the next challenge? Like, what's everything? And like that's how I started this project.
The next challenge is to teach me to play piano well.
Okay, I will.
I figured it for you. You're like, what's next?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why basically what I'm trying to say, that there was like quite some time when I was completely lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and like with this project I started, but obviously like completely zero experience in entrepreneurship. I didn't even know in the beginning that what I'm doing is actually a startup. I didn't know anything about startups whatsoever, and it actually like only started taking off like and really working out in the right direction when I moved to Berlin. And that transition like from London to Berlin, it's like, but also it was scary because I was like kind of like abandoning my students. When I moved, I still had online, like, and obviously you lose some stability financially, and you lose like ground because like you receive this money monthly, like, and stuff like that. But then suddenly it just stops because you change your path, and actually it's quite scary because you're like, oh my fucking god, what's happening? I was really like each student I was like not losing but stopping like relationship with because I had to inevitably. I didn't have time for that anymore. It was actually like a very difficult experience because it was like stability cuts, like, and then okay, like now it's better and I earn otherwise, but basically it's normal. You have to allow yourself some time to be lost and really
yes, I understand.
Don't force
that
it.
it's only the first year.
Exactly.
It's
just like less than a year you've been living here.
I had this practically the same experience when I moved from Siberia to Moscow, and just the first year it's very important. It's very hard every time because you need to organize your life from zero to some level.
It's also the adaptation year always. I spent my whole year in Berlin like being completely depressed here.
I'm not depressed. Maybe I'm not. I'm not sure. But it's not. But
it's
so
really
easy.
like tough, Actually, my psychologist told me that moving places actually is as hard for our like mental state is to lose a close person. Actually, when somebody dies,
you're
like
grieving.
you're really grieving. It's like absolutely.
Yeah, my therapist told me the same.
Yeah, really.
Maybe,
But actually, it really is, because when I moved, because I wanted to move as well, I was really looking forward for a change and everything. And I remember I was like first like half a year in Berlin. I was shocked, and actually I had like some health problems because like I think it really I was under so much stress. I started having problems with my stomach, and I was actually going through like some therapies, and because like I was like this much in shock. So even though I was like, okay, keep it together, I'm strong, I always am, but like you can't avoid it. It's really like difficult. So
I had the same. I was like, I don't have a depression. No.
You watch me. I'm stronger.
No, I was like, come on, like I've moved so many times. Like this is like easy.
No, every time it's a new experience. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like for my experience, it was a bit more complicated. I do feel that moving is much easier for me because I have done it many times. It's more related, like the depression happened like before me moving in, but definitely contributed to it. But I also feel that, if you move like more often, it becomes, so for example, the discussion that I had with my therapist, she was like, I don't think you have a depression because you just moved. Like you did this. Like people in depression do not do like steps like this. They do not, like just arranging everything and move into other country, etc. She was like, it doesn't feel like a depression. But I knew that I was depressed long time before actually I moved to Berlin. I started getting the signs and everything. But what she missed is that in my context, moving is not like a completely new thing, like I know what to do. Like for my brain is like easy. If I'm gonna move tomorrow, my brain sort of already knows like how to do this.
Okay, you know the processes which you need to...
Exactly. But if you're moving being already depressed, then it contributes to you being even more depressed. So I didn't even have this like honeymoon phase in Berlin, which even it confirms the theory that I was depressed before, because normally you move in, you have a honeymoon for at least 1 month or something. You're like, oh my god, it's my new life, everything gonna be amazing.
I was like this, like squirrels, foxes,
best place.
In the park where I lived in my new in my previous house, like the first one I moved in, there were rabbits, and I was like, I'm like literally like Alice in Wonderland. And Sky was chasing rabbits.
I haven't felt like this even a day I moved to Berlin. Like I moved here and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because like I wanted to move to Berlin before I had depression, and every time I came here as a tourist, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. But within the process, like between me wanted to move here and actually moving, I got depressed over here. And then when I moved here, I was like,
that's when you realized that you did not have enough time to heal from previous things, right? Like you mentioned previously.
Exactly. Because I was going through something and I needed to go through this, but I pushed it away and I moved here. And basically for the first 2 years, I did not move out of these kids. Like I didn't move out of this area. Like I've never been to, I don't know, many areas in Berlin. And normally when I move to new places, I'm like, at least for some time, I'm in this adventurous mood. Like, let's explore the city. Let's learn. I want to know everything here. I want to feel the city. But here I was just like, don't touch me. Don't do anything. And actually it escalated to the moment when I was in Cottbus Atoll. And that's the wildest place for me in Berlin. It's just like so full of people and like so many things are going on there. I was standing there and all of a sudden I got this panic attack, like, and my stomach, I feel anxiety always in my stomach. It's funny because like some people feel it in their throat. I feel it in my stomach. Like my stomach starts squishing like this, and then it feels like almost like you're too tense or something like this. And then I was like, it's a feeling like you're in the kindergarten and you peed to your pants or something, or you're like, I did something terribly wrong. And then I started for some reason listening to Kazakh songs. I don't know. It just relaxed me that not the traditional, but like in Kazakh language. No. No, but like just something like very I needed something very, very cozy to listen to. And basically I lived with this feeling for so long. But it's the first time that the first year I don't feel this and I don't have this feeling anymore. And yeah, just in general, how moving places is hard.
People really underestimate this, like actually how tough it is, you know. That's really true. But I'm happy you are over it.
Thank
you know,
you.
like fully.
But I don't think I had it when I was moving to Cyprus.
Because you were moving with your boyfriend.
True.
You were in the comfort zone.
Yeah,
It's like
of
when you
course.
do it with someone, it's much easier. It's like
Yeah.
you are moving your comfort zone.
And also we moved to a little village, and the weather in Cyprus is great every day. Every day you wake up and you're like, another amazing day. And
Why you're like so annoyed? Another amazing day.
I got to the point when it was weird, so listen, I live.
Okay, she's an artist in heart. It cannot be amazing every single day. So like you need sometimes this like, you know, emotional swings in order to write your.
There is a downfall of like living in paradise. There is. So imagine I live in a house with a swimming pool. I paid only 600 euros, half. And then you live with your boyfriend, you have a dog. Every day you wake up,
Imagine this life.
you go to the terrace and you have a sea view every day. Every day there's sun. Every day you see the sea. Every weekend you go for a trip around the island. And my job there was also like really not stressful. It was very good job. Like I loved my colleagues. Everything is great. And like you eat fresh fruits, and everyone in Cyprus are also like so friendly. Everyone are like "Ola kala," and you know. But then the life's true challenges felt so surreal. So like there was an example. It's a harsh episode of my life, but my grandma died, and I went to Kazakhstan. It was in October, and I went back to Kazakhstan. Everything was gray. No trees, nothing, and it's a funeral process. Everything is so fucking dark. But I did not have enough time, so I was there like for a week, and then I came back to Cyprus. And imagine, you're grieving, you're going through a tough period of your life, but you cannot, because you wake up every day and you see there is sun, another great day, and you're like in a Truman Show or like in a movie. Like when you wake up, it's like, hello sunshine, everything's great, but you cannot go through your grieving at all, because life does not feel like real. And the guilt that you feel, because you as a human, you know, like you feel these emotions. The sun is there, birds are singing, everything's perfect, everything's great, and you're like it does not even exist, but deep inside you know that you're going through a tough period. So like it is a tough example, but I just want to enlighten everyone that like living in the paradise is also surreal.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's so interesting how humans are, you know, the way they function really, because, you know, nothing seems enough. You know, like for example, like Buddha's path, you know, like he was a prince living in the palace, you know, like everything was amazing. He had best family and he didn't feel right, didn't feel complete. That's why he left and he started his spiritual journey, right? Yeah. And he was searching for something else, like for enlightening, you know. And it's like, yeah, for some reason, I don't know, like people are always, actually I went to this one retreat, I remember, and it's like basically like also like a Buddhist retreat. You have to be silent there for 2 days completely and meditate all the time. And I remember the teacher who was running this retreat, he said that it's really like, you look at you all obviously have money, like have like good fundamentals in your life, but you come here and you sleep on a yoga mat, like on the floor, because we were also like refusing from human comforts for these 2 days. And it's like, why? Why do you do that? It's like a weekend and you spend willingly and you're paying for this experience as well, to come here, to not be able to talk to others and just sleep every day like on this floor, you know. And some people pay for 2 weeks like this, you know, like why is they're doing this really? What's not feeling right in their comfort lives, like, and I think that actually is a great privilege because it's like a Maslow pyramid as well. You cannot achieve that without having fundamentals in life where you have strong foundation of like financial stability, realization, like basically it has to be covered, these fundamentals. But then once you grow, you really already want more.
But I think it's just like it's the illusion that people have that we all try to go to this utopia of like having perfect life and like everything is settled.
What is perfect life?
I mean, but then even if you get there,
Kardashians.
it exists. Kardashians. Let's imagine it exists and you get
But
there.
what exists? We need to elaborate that. I don't understand.
When I was in Cyprus and like I my whole life I was dreaming like imagine.
But to me, it doesn't look like a perfect life.
No. But let's say for me,
Yeah,
my whole life I was dreaming about living in a place where every day there is a sunshine. I don't need to experience rain and etc. And I got to this world, but then everything seemed like so plastic. Like all of a sudden, like why every day is sunny? And then I came back to Prague, and I remember that I was just standing there. I just moved, like there is Lola, there are like my bags and my suitcases and stuff. I was standing there and then all of a sudden it started raining on me. And I looked up and I was like, wow, I saw the cloud. I haven't seen clouds for a year. And I was like, oh my God, it's the rain. And I was like, that's the happiest moment. That's the best. My friend was looking at me like, are you okay? But and that was a good lesson for me when I realized that life is beautiful in seasons, and having seasons is amazing. And when I started surfing, it got even confirmed. There are times when you're smashed by the waves, but sometimes you catch one, and it's the best feeling. Yeah. But if you would catch every wave, like in this artificial like waving, kind of things, it's not the same.
The real reward is when you really put in effort and spend so much energy, and then you really get it. And that's like, I think it's also addictive. That's why I love entrepreneurship, because like I achieve goals, I really struggle in the meantime, and then it's like it gives me such dopamine. I'm like, I want again, and that's why like people ask me like, well, like I turned one business into agency and we started another one, and people ask me like, what motivates, like why, like you could have just focused on the agency and stuff like this. But I'm like, but it's like more or less clear. Of course it has to, like certain processes have to be really aligned, but it's too predictable right now. I know what I have to do in order to achieve like success there, like, and boost revenue and everything, but next one is unknown. I'm really curious, That's why like I think it keeps me going. I'm really excited to catch waves, and then I don't know, like it's nature, it's like wild, like world. I don't know, like I just enjoy it.
Yeah. So girls, what do you think this podcast is about?
It's about
catching waves.
Yeah. I think we just need maybe to give some tips from you, girls. Tips for our audience, for our listeners and future subscribers. Tips about how to start listening yourself and understand yourself and something like that. Maybe you have some tips?
I do. I have a very practical one. So not to make it too long, I'm just doing journaling. Honestly, it helps me. Yeah, and sometimes I do a very curated journaling, like these are the points that we gonna do. This is our focus points or something like this. But what really helps is just like uncontrolled subconscious, like whatever. You just take a pen and you start writing whatever comes to your mind. I took this technique from this book, actually, The Artist's Way. So I just wake up in the morning and I have to write 3 pages of whatever comes to my mind. And this is mostly like when I uncover things that I wouldn't even think that I have there. And that helps me a lot to reconnect with my intuition, reconnect with my core. And then I'm like, oh, okay, we can trust ourselves. Good. Yeah. If one tip, then that's my journaling.
I think it's important for me that don't be afraid and just get out there in the world and also see what you feel like, because we always reflect ourselves on others. You always see reflections of how you feel inside and what you really want in projections of other people. We inevitably do that, right? And sometimes I look at the person, and sometimes whatever triggers you or whatever you can be jealous about, or you whatever like really, or you whatever you admire, you know, like just notice the things and really truly feel like how you resonate with that and why this triggered you. Maybe it triggered you because you really want it, or like it really doesn't feel right with you. So like I think noticing these kind of things in others really will help you understand yourself better. Yeah, so I always do that actually.
It's your tip.
Interesting. I don't have any tips because I just try to understand myself. It just, yeah, I just try. And maybe next time
I think
with the next topic.
We can start, you can think about it, and we will
Maybe,
start
yeah.
next episode with that.
Maybe I just will try some tips from you and
But that's a great approach you're taking, asking questions and then reflecting on yourself back.
That's what exactly actually what I just said, you know. Reflect on others.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, if we describe today's episode, just to sum it up a bit, what do you think are the topics? What are we talking about? What this podcast is going to be about? I just wonder. Like, this is our trial.
I think it's,
Work-life balance.
I think anyway it's just the kind of introduction, because through this topic our audience can understand about each of us, understand who we are. Yeah. Yes.
You know,
I
it's
think
like in life, we need to go with the flow and see where the flow takes us.
Yeah.
You know, it's my motto. Go with the flow. My friends know it.
But I think we definitely talk about mindsets, about tools, about how to get better. Therapy a lot. Also philosophy, you know, like of life and stuff. Like how do we get through this journey? And
I think future episodes will be with some therapy stuff also, because we just every time with every topics
it's a very important fundamental.
Yeah, because it's like type of something.
But I think we're also about Kardashians and Snoop Dogg. Kardashians, Snoop Dogg, and 3 white dogs.
Third one is not here, but just trust us.
Yeah, next
Brie
time.
exists.
Next time, yeah.
She's super cute.
Next time we just show you.
We thank you so much for listening to the podcast.
I think our dogs are also done with this episode. They're like, we know all the wisdom of life, you girls.
They're like, okay, we know actually. Like, thank God they cannot speak.
They tried.
But they know more than we do. We learn a lot from our dogs.
Exactly.
And we need to
It's like so funny
again.
how we are also like so alike, you know, we share same personalities. You and Lola.
I definitely learn a lot about my anxiety and like how I'm anxious from my dog, because I see that it's like almost exaggerated in her. And I'm like, Lola, if I handle this, like you can do it as well. Like you can. And yeah, I see we're somehow different, but also very, very similar.
Lola is very tired today.
Very emotional. But
I hope it's not our discussion. It's not very boring for her.
what do you think is the similar and a different thing? Like if you can call one per each between you and your dog, what do you share and what's its different?
We just discuss it in the next episode.
Exactly. Yeah. We will think about it.
Something to be excited about.
We should say about, like, as a reflection, you know, like I should say about you and all, like, you know, like and you should say about me and Sky, you know, like, so basically.
It's interesting.
Because it's interesting to have a view from a side, not from you first.
Actually, type in a comment, what do you think is similar
They
and
don't
different
know
between us?
because They don't know because they don't see my
They
dog.
don't know. They absolutely have no
It's
idea. They're
not
just sleeping. They have no
possible.
personalities right now.
But we will start the next episode with this topic.
Exactly. But thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for staying.
I
if
think
you're
it
still
was
here.
quite cool. It was like the first pilot, first MVP, the one we have to be embarrassed a little bit
Yeah.
about, and setting everything, but we will improve.
We don't
Start
know
up
the
first.
name of our podcast.
Kardashian, Snoop Dogg, and 3 dogs. We don't know the name.
But
yet.
we lost one person. No.
We almost lost you.
Eminem, which person?
We almost lost you 5 seconds before we started, but you're here.
One person, Kardashian.
Like, no, we shouldn't do this. I'm not gonna be there. No.
Actually, Snoop Dogg is on LinkedIn. He's quite active on LinkedIn, and I will tag him.
Okay.
But you know what, girls? When we were recording and we were talking about this, I definitely caught this feeling of this is right. This is what I wanted to do.
Me too. I enjoyed it.
Nice. But it was more than 1 hour.
And it never felt awkward. And
It looks like
true.
10 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, girls, with you, I could speak for hours and hours.
the amount of times I had this conversation with different friends of mine who were like, we should do a podcast. Everything we talk about now should be a podcast. But you know what? Finally, we did this.
But you know what? Actually, the idea and realization, execution, actually, it happened quite fast because Gulia suggested the idea a week ago when we were in the park. Not a week ago, Monday.
Just
less than a week
it's
ago.
Monday.
And then, look, it's Saturday and we already are recording because we are doers. It has we also can give a tip. Whenever you have an idea, it means you're also being given energy to execute this. You should do it straight away. Otherwise, you waste your energy.
It's true.
And don't realize it, and then you will end up doing
Idea, execution, production. Your 3 pillars.
And now we will go to party.
And now to the party.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was a success. It's a wrap.